Does the Tudor Black Bay 54 outshine every other dive watch in the market today? Well, let's find out, shall we? Welcome back to the channel, all you watch heroes and nerds, and today we are going to talk about this, the Tudor Black Bay 54. I've had this watch now on the wrist for well over a week, and so I'm going to give you my honest, unfiltered, awkward horology thoughts on it. So I thought I would head over to Nottingham Castle to give this watch a good old British once over. Now, before we dive in, a little business out the way first. If you want to buy this watch brand new in the UK, I will leave an affiliate link to Dura Watches. It is a great watch store that I have personally bought watches from in the past and can highly recommend them. If you are in the USA or outside of the UK, or you're happy to look at the grey market, I will leave a link to my Dura shop storefront where you can have a look for this watch and many others. Also, just to clarify, this video is not sponsored by either Joma Shop or Dura Watches, and I did buy this watch from Watchfinder, so a big thank you again to Watchfinder for setting the deal up for me. All good? Right, let's kick off. So before I wax lyrical about the watch, let's do a quick spec check to make sure that we are all on the same page. We have a 37mm case diameter, a smidge under 46 lug to lug, and including the domed sapphire crystal, I have an 11.2mm thickness. We have 20mm on the lugs, and the bracelet tapers from the aforementioned 20 all the way down to 16, and it bumps it back up at 18 on the on-the-fly teeth fit clasp. And to round off the specs, we have 200 meters of water resistance, or as the Tudor website says, waterproofness, with a screw-in case back, screw-in crown, a superb, and I really do mean that superb, 60-click unidirectional bezel, beautiful domed sapphire crystal, and of course a mixture of polished and satin finished hardware. The movement on here is a three-hand only MT5400, an in-house manufacture from Kinesi, part of the Tudor Rolex group. It has a 70-hour power reserve, it is COSC certified and beats at 28,800 beats per hour. It has 27 jewels, hacks and hand winds, and has a silicone balance hairspring with a degree of anti-magnetism, although it is to be noted that this model is not meta certified like the newer models are. Right, so your daily dose of facts out on this watch have been done. Let's talk about the looks, and herein we find the part that I think makes this watch look so special. It has long been known that Tudor, with the exception of the Pelagos range of course, looks back whilst its older brother Rolex looks forward. And although this has led to innovation from the latter in forms of Rolex, I think there is a form of romanticism with the former Tudor that has blossomed in recent years. Tudor today cannot be claimed to be a poor man's Rolex. Perhaps in the past that statement may have held slightly more ground, but it really has its own unique look today, and this Tudor Black Bay 54 is absolutely no different. So in 1954, Tudor made its first dive watch. The reference was the 7922, and this is what Tudor is paying homage to in this model. And you can see that design language all over this timepiece. First of all, let's start with hands and indices. It's rose gold, Fatina, faux Fatina-tastic. It is a deep black dial that in some lights goes sunburst almost brown and plays off the indices so well. You have snowflaked hands instead of the old Mercedes hands. This is now ubiquitous with the brand today, and I wouldn't have expected anything different. The only thing that I say is a marked improvement in my opinion on the design of the hands is the substitution of the second hand to a circular lollipop second hand. I think that fits the design really well. And in true Black Bay and of course Submariner style, we have a triangle at the 12, rectangles at 3, 6 and 9, and finally circular markers all over the rest. The text is in rose gold here, and you have the shield logo, Tudor and Geneva at the top, and the stated water resistance and chronometer officially certified underneath. Now for some that might be text heavy, and I completely understand why. It doesn't bother me, but perhaps the officially certified could have been chopped out and that would have made the dial look a little cleaner. But the main point is, despite the size of the watch and the size of the dial, it doesn't feel overcrowded. Given the text, I think that is a pretty good thing from Tudor. I love the bezel. I like the way they deleted the old Black Bay 58 bezel and have instead put in a simple silver indices with increments of 10. It is simple and refined, and it sets off the faux patina on the dial, giving it a much better and perhaps more conservative balance when compared to the previous models. Faux rivet bracelet is really comfy on wrist as well. I don't really notice the rivets at all, to be honest, and again, this doesn't bother me in the same way it can for others, and on wrist it is super comfortable. And finally, I have to say that the on-the-fly adjustment clasp is perhaps the best at any price point. This is the T-Fit clasp. It is so good, and it is super easy to use. I do not find it hard at all to get a perfect fit on my now 7 1/3 inch wrist. So as you can tell, this watch really took me by surprise. If I could describe the Black Bay 54 in one word, it would be refined. And if you gave me 3 words, I would say refined, gorgeous, and discreet. It is perfect for medium to smaller wrist, or for those just wanting more vintage style proportions. The 37mm is a bit deceptive, and thanks to the build and the case shape that we all know with Tudors can be quite slab-sided, the watch size actually works really well, and the 20mm strap helps it wear closer to a 38 or even 39mm watch in my opinion. Honestly, it is such a mind. And when you compare it to the only other dive watch on the smaller side of the scale, which was the Oris 65 at 36mm that I reviewed, the 1mm difference really starts to feel like 2 or 3mm. You can watch my review on that as well if you fancy it. I will link it to the end of this video. But all I can say is that it feels like Tudor have took everything we loved about the 58 and the Black Bay series as a whole and just refined it. Took everything to its most basic and attractive form, and you know what? I think that really works. Every now and again, a watch can come on the scene that makes you feel like you need to reevaluate your love of watches and what you like, and I think the luxury on offer with Tudor and this Black Bay has done, well, just that for me. So, timeless design, gorgeous looks, interesting heritage, and of course it is super practical. Is the Tudor Black Bay 54 the perfect diver in today's market? Well, so far as vintage reissues go, I have to say it is there or thereabouts. Everything about this watch just feels spot on, and I think Tudor have done a really cool job here. I just wish that they did all of their watches in a slightly smaller case size, don't you? Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you later, watch nerds.